What's up, everybody, on a podcast now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about something dark. I want to talk about something depressing. I'm going to try and keep my enthusiasm up as much as I can, but I do get bogged down by these kind of videos. But no, honestly, I want to have a very serious, very real discussion with you guys. You know how much I appreciate you guys. You know how much I believe that you guys have my back, and I truly, truly do appreciate it. So let me start this off, and I get that I hope we don't have any haters. That's honestly the first thing I want to say is I really don't want any haters, because this is something very different than what maybe the title would suggest, or what people that hate me or know these kind of videos I've made even in the past would expect of me. Listen, there's some stuff going on around the world. I don't know if you guys have heard. I can't say the words on YouTube, can't put in the title, can't do any of that, but we all know what it is, and it's affecting literally everything. Things are shutting down. Things are getting delayed. Things are getting pushed. My favorite, I'd say my top 3 film franchises is Fast and Furious. And Fast 9 got delayed almost an entire year. I think that video either goes up today or maybe it already went up, but that will go up. It honestly is heartbreaking. And for a video like this, or for a game like this, I do want to talk about how this could impact Batman. Now, again, I have to be very, and I do mean this, very careful with the words I say, so you just got to kind of follow me along. And I also just want to make it clear my standpoint. I've talked about this in the past, but I don't know how many people from the Batman community have watched this. Look, I am not in the mass hysteria pool. I'm not in the we need to all freak out and raid Costco for toilet paper pool. I'm not in that. I'm about practicality. I'm about, firstly, thinking on my own, not listening to what everybody or what the mass hysteria would tell me, but being practical and being safe in my own regards, right? So I do preach safety. I preach all that. I understand why things are happening, I guess, but at the same time, I feel like we're about 1,000 times more panicky than we need to be. And what does that all mean? Well, for Batman, it honestly could mean the worst possible thing. I guess not technically, because that would be a cancellation, but the second worst possible thing we could ever expect. I mean, look, movies are getting delayed almost a year after they're supposed to come out. James Bond gets delayed 7 months. Fast 9 gets delayed 11 months. This has not yet impacted games that much. And maybe that's the first thing people will say, is in terms of like game releases, game even development, it hasn't impacted that much. Now, we canceled E3, right? E3 was canceled because of it, but that is a gathering of people talking about games. The work on and yes, would that impact smaller developers that need that kind of communication with others to kind of push their game out? Yes. And does that happen there? Yes. And I understand that. At the same time, I honestly feel like there's other ways for small games to find their way out into the crowd, especially if we're all going to be at home doing nothing, it seems. There'll be plenty of ways for them to let us know that their game is coming, and people will support them. But beyond that is the actual work on the games. Now, again, we see companies like Bungie. I think Bungie's like the first one. And when I'm recording this on the Thursday, I believe it's the only one that so far, in terms of like a huge game development studio, is the only one that said like, nope, we're closed, because that one is based in Seattle, right? So they said like, we're closing the studios. We're going to work at home. We've created this infrastructure that we can all do that is all going to work. But even that, I guarantee you, it's going to slow down whatever they're working on. You will not be able to build a game. Now, that's just them. Now, they're working on, like, the Destiny raids and stuff like that, right? But say Batman, say Warner Bros. Montreal. I guarantee you, you will not make a game as productively, as quickly, as smoothly at home, everybody separated into their homes, as you would in the office. Now, again, am I preaching one or the other? No. If you want to go into the mass hysteria, if you want everybody working from home, that's fine. I'm not going to argue it with you, right? It doesn't matter our thoughts. All that matters, because again, we're in the same boat here. Firstly, in terms of what's going around the world, we're all supposed to be against it. It's us versus it. And we're not really supposed to be fighting. Secondly, for the Batman community, we are all together. I know, again, we've all kind of divided ourselves. Am I part of that? Am I part of the reason of that? Sure, I'll take responsibility. But people definitely don't like me. I can tell you that. There is definitely a group of people that don't like me. You know what? That's fine. My opinion is we all need to be in this together. We're not. That sucks. Hopefully one day we all can. But what's going on here, again, this is real, and this is bad news because, yes, I get it, and I guess this is maybe where the haters would come in. The game isn't even announced. Well, okay, Jason Schreier confirmed it. The game's real. The game is 1,000% real. Yesterday, I believe, we talked about Harry Potter. Harry Potter is real. This game is happening. These games are going to happen. These games are going to come out. So if you're looking for the light at the end of the tunnel, I guess the good news is one day these games will release because they are, in fact, being made, and if all this stuff wasn't happening, we would have gotten those announcements in June at E3, okay? Now, how does this affect images, those teaser images? How does this affect the announcement? Literally 2 days ago, or I guess when I'm recording this, literally yesterday, I would have told you guys, and I did. I made videos. All they have to do is do a live conference from their own studio, show these games off however they want to do it. Maybe they don't even have to be there, but make some presentations, make some pre-recorded videos, whatever, and show us it. Literally, I would have said that yesterday from when I'm recording this. But at the point that we're at now, with it being called what it's being called, with everybody, again, freaking out 1,000 times more than they already were, which already was 1,000 times, that impacts it. And so what if they have to shut down the studio? What if they have to work from home? Now, again, game developers, it is a little bit easier. You can actually work from home, but I guarantee you, again, it's not going to go over as easily. Right? It's not going to be as easy as if you were in the office. It's going to slow it down. So how does that affect the announcement? Well, I think it pushes it back. How does that affect teaser images? I think it pushes it back because also if it pushes the release date, if there were internally 2 months ago saying October is when we want to do this. We have this plan. We're going to drop these images. We're going to reveal the whole thing at E3. It's going to be a real great time. Okay, well now, even yesterday, they could have said, okay, well, E3 is canceled, but you know what? We'll just make a presentation. We'll show it, and it'll still come out in October. Well, that's fine. And I'm not, by the way, I'm not adding into the fear. I'm not adding into the paranoia because my own personal opinion is I hope it stays. And I think specifically for games which are a lot more fluid in their releases, it's a lot easier for them to stay put. That's why I still have hope for the PS5 that it's not going to get delayed, although it is a little bit more complicated, right? Because you have to import, you have to ship all those PS5s in terms of America, but really anywhere, it's got to be traveled, right? And yes, traveling goods are not shut down yet, but we don't know where this leads, right? So, PS5, I'm still having hope. Games like Cyberpunk, games like Avengers, I'm still hoping that they, land where they're supposed to because I feel like it's just different. Whereas movies, again, James Bond, Fast and Furious, which again, I feel like they're overreactions because you delay Fast and Furious till April of 2021. What if all this stuff goes away in August? Then you can, yes, you can push movies sooner, but you push it from April to October now all of a sudden, and then what does that do? It's tough. But games, I feel like, are a lot more fluid. So maybe they are. And again, I want to be as optimistic as possible. Maybe they are still targeting October, but they're like, oh my God, though, look, if things are going to continue to get worse, we can't work from our office, so we can't do these teasers, so we can't get ready to announce it, so we can't show all that stuff, and we can't really promote it if nobody can see it, so that's pushed, and then the game itself, that's pushed, and also, we wanted to come out right before next gen, maybe even internally, they're like, well, we have a next gen version as well, but then they hear, Series X and PS5, rumor has it, maybe would get delayed. Oh, well, I guess we can't come out yet. We need to wait for that. So, and again, that's just speculation. I don't know any of those things, but you have to assume that those things are going around. There are apps, I can guarantee you that, though. They're talking about it. Whether or not it's going to happen, that's debatable, but they are talking about it. So, I don't know. I feel like, again, my answer, if I want to remain optimistic, but I also want to be a realist. I also want to tell it to you straight and I've always have. Honestly, I tell you this every time. This is in my heart. I was hurt when Fast 9 was delayed. I will be hurt if Batman gets announced, but they say, due to this stuff, we're delaying the game, so it's not coming out as soon as we want it to. It will hurt. We will all be hurt by it. And again, you can call us babies. You can say we're getting too emotional or whatever over a stupid movie or a stupid game or whatever. I get that there's human lives at risk. I understand that. But that doesn't mean we can't be upset at other things happening. Again, I talked about in other videos, I'm crushed that the NHL season is done. Now, maybe they'll resume in the summer. I love the NHL. I've watched hockey for 10 years. I watch every single game of my team, the Buffalo Sabres. I love it. This is affecting me, and by the way, it's not just me; it's affecting everybody. So we're not all that different. Is also what I'm trying to say. So it's possible the release stays, but maybe the announcement process, maybe that gets delayed. I'm hoping that at worst, that is what would get delayed. That is what would get affected by all this stuff going around, is that it would just get pushed a little bit, that the announcement process would get pushed, but not the release date. I mean, again, there's so many things that, and in a larger scale, you gotta worry about your own safety. You gotta make sure you have you have money if your parents or your job, if they lay you off or they close down. I get that stuff's more important. I get that the food on your table, that you need to make sure you're stocked up, that you have extra stuff. I get that all that stuff's more important from an entertainment purpose and from a less serious note, but still very serious in its own medium, right? In the entertainment world, in movies, in television, in games, all that kind of stuff. We can also be affected. And I think it's okay for us to voice our opinions. And so, again, I'm hoping that this doesn't get hate. I'm hoping that this doesn't get like, well, lives are more important. Duh. Obvious. I mean, come on, get lost if you're going to say that. Obviously, we know that. But we can have this discussion for these kind of things. Again, Fast and Furious, that crushed me. I mean, Tyler, my cousin Tyler on this channel too, right? You guys have heard him before. He texted me that. And because I was at my daughter's, I was doing a chaperone at her field trip, and I got the news that Fast 9 was delayed from my cousin. And I just did ... Wow, that was like my answer. I couldn't believe it. It affected me. And maybe it won't affect us that much as if Batman does that, because again, it's not even an announced game, so maybe we just don't get an announcement at all. So maybe the announcement of Batman happens in the fall, and we all just kind of push everything 6 months from when it was supposed to happen. We get the announcement in the fall, it gets released in the spring of 2021. I mean, that could very well be it, and maybe that won't affect us as much because we already, we're used to not getting info from Batman, and so we'll just wait even longer to not get info. Very possible. Very possible. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping this stuff goes away quickly, but again, you have to be a realist and you have to be prepared for these kind of things. So guys, oh boy. I mean, that was just a flat-out honest conversation. I enjoyed personally recording this. I enjoyed talking to you guys. Let me know in the comments below. What are you thinking? What are some things that have been affected by this that are impacting your lives? Games, movies, television, daily life, anything you guys want to talk about. We're all here for each other. We're all in a community together, right? Even podcast now as a whole is a community. So we're all here. Make sure you guys let me know, or let anybody know anything you guys want to talk about. If for anything, it doesn't have to be in Batman. In the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll have more videos. We'll be keeping an eye out for anything. Definitely the things we're keeping an eye out for, I think, have changed from what we used to be. But that's just how the world is. We got to roll with the punches, and we're going to come out on the other side. We absolutely will. So keep your head high. Remain optimistic, but remain safe, and just, again, use your head. Think for yourselves. Don't follow the group. Don't be a follower. Be a leader. That's things that you tell children when they're growing up, and that's what adults should be as well. And this is not a good time for that kind of stuff because it seems like nobody's doing it. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video.